Hello, beloved pastor. You know, Murphy's Law does not exempt churches. Murphy's Law reads, anything that can go wrong eventually does, and that which goes bad gets worse. And if you haven't found out yet, you'll soon discover that when something goes wrong or bad in church, you bear the burden of it. When something goes wrong in church, people will naturally distance themselves from all the responsibility, but you can't. Often you're left alone to walk through the fire. You know, there's a lot of examples of this. The list is long, but gosh, a great staff member quits, a key family moves away, a piece of vital equipment fails, offerings are down, a marriage is in trouble, a critical comment damages the unity in your church, your worship leader is late again, finances might be mismanaged, your sermon isn't coming together, the air conditioner stops working, the door's left unlocked, things are stolen. You know, like I said, this list is long. It's this kind of stuff that can really make the ministry hard. And it's what I call the crucible of burden. I've had periods when everything is going very well in church, and then somebody does something or says something outside of your control, and suddenly Murphy's Law rings true again. People quit, they get angry, they stop serving. Some people may even leave your church never to return. And in the end, you're left alone to walk through the fire. There's sometimes, you know, when people have great intentions and an event is planned, people meet, it's great. They get excited, they build, and details are carried out, but then something unexpected happens. Expectations are dashed. Somebody begins to quit, and then blame is cast, and then suddenly disunity prevails. And in the end, you're left alone to walk through that fire too. If there's an issue in a smaller church, everyone gets wind of it, and it's harder to keep it from becoming destructive. When people leave a smaller church, others notice, and sometimes they might even leave too. And if they hold a key position, it's much harder to fill that position. And to top it all off, you're always under the microscope, pastor. And if you're having a bad day, everybody will tend to pick up on that too. Every day, the small church pastor walks through this crucible of burden. You try to be strong, but sometimes you just can't be. And in your weakness, you draw near to God. And then the miracle happens. Just as Jesus wept over Jerusalem, you weep over your church. But in the end, you rise up, just as Jesus did, to minister again. And this time, you're a little stronger and you're a little wiser. You ultimately bear the burden of every mishap that happens in the church. But this crucible of burden will make you a better pastor. I can't explain it, but as you age in the ministry, mysteriously, the burdens of bearing all of the responsibility, it lessens. You become increasingly more dependent upon Jesus. And when it comes to the vitality of your church, it's always good to remember that God's law is far more powerful than Murphy's Law. And when something goes wrong in church, just remember the gates of hell will never prevail against it. God will fix it because ultimately your church belongs to Him.